Good evening, students. I see people starting to pop in. If this is your first StriveScan webinar, my name is Christine Holliday. I'm the Assistant Director of College Advising at St. Joseph's Academy in St. Louis, Missouri, and we're really glad that you're here this evening. Just a few logistical things. One, if you have questions at any point throughout the presentation, please use the Q&A function down in the bottom middle of your screen. Ideally, it's the best way for you to get the information that you're here to get this evening about St. Louis University. Your camera and your microphone are going to remain off throughout the course of the presentation, but our presentation is being recorded, so if you need to step away for any reason, please feel free to check out MOACAC.org later this week for the recording of today's presentation. Additionally, while we've had lots of presentations over the last couple of weeks, we're still not done yet. There are still more sessions. If you have other interests that you'd like to explore, you can do that again at that exact same website, moacac.org. With that, I am going to go ahead and turn things over to our presenters. So I'm going to introduce Jennifer Tanner from St. Louis University, and she's going to let you know who else is here. With that, I'll turn things off. Have a great one.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. And thank you for those of you who have joined us. And hopefully we'll get a few more people popping in over the next couple of minutes. My name is Jennifer Tanner. I am a regional admission counselor for SLU. So I am actually based in Kansas City. So in terms of Missouri students that I work with students from the greater KC-Mo area. Rashad, you want to go next?
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rashad Young. I'm an admission counselor. I'm born and raised in St. Louis, and I'm currently recruiting in St. Louis City and County and also Texas. I've been in SLU for about 2 years now. Mark?
Hi, my name is Mark Notham. I'm one of our senior admission counselors at St. Louis University. I've been at SLU for almost 5 years now. Prior to that, I was actually a high school teacher in the St. Louis area. And the students that I work with across Missouri is, well, pretty much most of the state. I work with all the students outside of St. Louis and Kansas City, as well as the southern metro area of St. Louis. And so I work with a pretty large group of students, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight. And excited to talk to you guys about St. Louis University. And well, I know we're pretty much all pros in how using Zoom. So, just want to go over a few of the expectations that we hope to help keep you guys engaged tonight. If you have any questions, you can just kind of start adding them into the Q&A section, and we'll answer them after the presentation. And we'll be able to hopefully address all your questions that you have about St. Louis University. And then if there's any questions about that, we'll be able to hand up from there, but we can just kind of start with that, with some basic information about St. Louis University. St. Louis is a medium-sized Catholic Jesuit institution with over 8,000 undergraduate students. We have actually 2 campuses, one in St. Louis, Missouri, and the other in Madrid, Spain. And we are the second oldest Jesuit university founded in 1818. And that actually makes us the second oldest Jesuit university in the country. And it also makes us the first university west of the Mississippi. So what does it mean when I say that we are a Jesuit institution? Well, the Jesuits are the largest order of Catholic priests in the church. But what it really means to be one of the 27 Jesuit universities is that we follow the philosophy of education of cura personalis, care of the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And so that's what we're really focused on at SLU is helping you be educated as a whole person, academically, socially, physically, and spiritually. And we believe that in academic excellence, that of social justice, and being a person for others. We are concerned about who you become and not what you become. So we want to make sure that you'll be prepared to be successful in your career path through strong academics, but we're also focused on helping you be an important contributing member to your community. And one example of the way that SLU lives up that mission is that last year, our faculty, staff, and our students combined for a little over 1.98 million community service hours. And so we're very excited to see our campus get involved in such a way. And now I'd like to point out that service at SLU is entirely voluntary. You can come to SLU and never do a single hour community service. You can come to SLU and do 50 hours a year. It's how you want to get involved in campus. It's just that we have instilled in our students the importance of giving back into their community. and all of our staff and faculty tend to buy into that as well. So it's really great to see everyone want to be involved in the St. Louis community and outside. Obviously, SLU has a very unique mascot, and that's our Billiken. It's a very unique mascot. We're actually the only college in the world that uses the Billiken as a mascot. And the story behind the Billiken, it was created a little more than 100 years ago in the early 1900s by an art teacher by the name of Florence Pratts. And she was creating some illustrations for some poetry. And it became a huge fad, a huge symbol of good luck and how things ought to be. And because it was a fad, like fidget spinners or things like that, it was very popular for a short amount of time and kind of then faded away for a little bit. But there was a lot of things that were happening that in the early 1900s that it became associated with our university. And we had a football team for the first half of the 20th century. And in the 19 teens, we had a head football coach by the name of John Bender. And local sports writers thought that he looked like a Billiken. Obviously, not the most flattering comparison to make, but it was a little true. He had a bit of a dimply smile, tough hair on top of his head, even pointy ears a little bit. So whenever they would write about our football team, they'd write about Bender's Billikens. And around that time, the university was looking to adopt a mascot like many other universities were doing across the country. And they thought, well, the football team is already called the Billikens, and it could be a unique mascot for our university. So in 1916 is when we officially adopted the Billiken as our official mascot. And so it's definitely this really kind of cool, unique mascot that we have for our students. And it's really become like the symbol of our university and a reflection of our mission and our values. And I'll pass it on to Rashad to talk more about our university.
All right, thank you, Mark. As Mark mentioned, we are a private Catholic Jesuit university, and also as far as size, we're medium sized. So to kind of give you a picture of what type of environment you'll be at. At the helm, you'll have an average class size of 26. So not too big, not too small. When it comes to professors, a lot of students like to ask, all my classes taught by professors, and what type of professors am I getting? The answers are yes and yes to both. Actually, you're getting the highest level professors in your particular field or major. So just kind of keep that in mind. You are getting the best of the best professors. And also, you're going to be supported with a 9-to-1 student faculty ratio. We offer 18 Division I sports. I know Mark talked about that great story about Mr. Bender and the football team, but we do not longer have a football team at St. Louis University, but we are Division I in basketball, track, softball, baseball, to name a few. When it comes to our students, we do have a lot of smart kids that come to SLU. Average high school GPA is a 3.91, and we do have over 150 student organizations that I will talk about in just a second. Majors, kids, I know you all love majors. I know you all have many questions about majors. How many majors do we have at SLU? We have nearly 90 undergraduate programs. First thing about SLU is that we are a direct admit university, which means you get admitted, you go straight into that program with no problem and no steps. Some of our most popular majors are PT, OT, nursing, biology, engineering, aviation, and business, to name a few. The cool thing about this as well is that we also offer minors and concentrations. So if you are interested in possibly doing business and Spanish as a major and minor, or engineering and learn more about psychology, these are options that you can always have from a major and minor perspective. Keep this in mind, again, being a direct admit university, there is no extra step. You get admitted, you go straight into that program with no problem. With that being said, we do have some competitive programs, and that is PT, OT, and nursing. Jennifer will definitely talk about that in just a couple of moments as well, but just keep that in mind. All of our programs are direct admits, and PT, OT, and nursing are our most competitive ones. Now, transitioning to campus life, I believe St. Louis University is in the best parts of St. Louis, where it has so much history, so much innovation. This is a photo where I like to say St. Louis University meets St. Louis. This is our crossing walk on Grand, where you see kids walking towards the Bush Student Center. That's where the kids are from the residential side, crossing over to the academic side, and the kids from the academic side walking back over to the residential side. So St. Louis University is in the heart of St. Louis, in an area called Midtown, Missouri, where there's so many great things, where I like to say where innovation and history meet together. We have so many great things, such as the Fox Theater, Powell Symphony Hall. Those are very historical landmarks at St. Louis itself. Pappy's Barbecue, if you love food, if you love barbecue, St. Louis is definitely a foodie city. We're right connected to downtown St. Louis, where we have the Arch, the Bush Stadium, where the Blues play, the City Museum, which is like this gigantic playground for kids and adults. We're also right by Forest Park, which is the largest park in the United States has a lot of great free amenities such as the zoo, science center, art museum, history museum, and an outdoor place called the Muni, which is really cool as well. Also, we are right by Central West End, which is a nice local slash vintage area in St. Louis. To my right is a photo of Madrid, Spain. We do have our own campus in Madrid, Spain, as Mark alluded to. Some kids go there for all 4 years, as you can as an option. Some kids also choose to go there for 2 years in St. Louis, Madrid, and also transfer over to St. Louis University. And also, we do have study abroad options. We have over 40 countries that you can choose from, and Madrid, Spain is one of our most popular ones. Student involvement is very huge at our school as well. This is where I believe we really stand out as far as the large size scale of options. We want you to find something that's going to help you stand out, help you grow, help you become the best person inside and outside the classroom, and also connect with many students from different places. We offer 30 club sports, 50 intramural programs, 150 student organizations. Those are going to vary from service, cultural, religious, faith-based, and also Greek life. We are about 20% of our kids are part of the Greek life organization. We do have 7 fraternities and sororities and 10 multicultural fraternities. There's so many things you can do at SLU when it comes to campus life, but definitely get involved. Is one, what a lot of SLU students do, and two, definitely our biggest recommendation when it comes to being on our campus. And lastly, with everything that's going on this year, SLU always takes a hands-on approach of care personalis, which is care of the whole person. Ourselves, we are a high research institution, always finding ways to research about things, whether it is now COVID-19, things such as the vaccine trials. But one cool thing that we are doing on our campus is we have a Campus Clear app, and that is a daily symptom check app where all of our students and staff must participate in, just to let everybody know how they're feeling and how we can find ways to accommodate them if they're feeling symptoms of COVID-19. But as of right now, SLU is now offering hybrid courses. So many of our kids are currently on campus, but you can also take courses online as well. But we're always trying to find a way to push the envelope to be a great spot for all of our kids and staff, and also create a safe environment as well. I'll pass it on to Jennifer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rashad. I want to spend some time talking about what next. How do you become a Billiken? Now, if you're a senior, I know this is more front of mind for you. If you're a junior, sophomore, maybe even a freshman, you can relax knowing that you have some time before you need to apply. For those of you who are in the midst of the college application process, there are 2 ways to apply to SLU. Both are free, the common application and on our website. Within both of those applications, we require an essay as well. We also require your official high school transcript. If you are an international student who has not spent all 4 years in the United States for high school, we do require English proficiency as well. While not required, we recommend letters of recommendation. 2 is sufficient, a resume, and an optional admission interview. We are test optional. We're currently in a 3-year test optional pilot. So our philosophy test scores is that they can't hurt you, they can only help you. So if you have any questions about your specific situation with test optional, I always encourage you to reach out to your admission counselor. But please know that we are 100% test optional for admission and for scholarship. We are rolling admission, so what that means is once you submit your application to SLU, we will start letting you know a couple of weeks after you have applied. We usually start releasing decisions November 1st, and then we keep rolling from there. Now, I did mention December 1st. It is a priority deadline for several of our programs at SLU. So if you want to, thank you so much. So as Rashad mentioned, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and nursing are our most competitive programs at SLU. So if you are considering them, please make sure you apply by December 1st. Just as a heads up, PT is a 6-year doctorate in physical therapy. Occupational therapy is a 5-year master's, and nursing is a direct entry bachelor's of science in nursing program. You can't really transfer into any of these programs once you start at SLU, so if you're thinking any of those 3, I recommend you apply into them right away. We also encourage flight science students to apply by December 1st as well, as this program will reach capacity. And then some of our honors and scholars programs have December 1st deadlines as well, which I will talk about in just a minute or 2. Your application to SLU is also your application for our merit scholarships. These range from $8,000 to $23,000 a year and are renewable for all 4 years. Outside of that, we have 2 competitive scholarships for incoming freshmen. We try and keep our scholarship process pretty simple. We're not hiding scholarships on our website. This is what we offer for incoming freshmen. And both of these require a separate application and a potential interview process. The Presidential Scholarship is a full tuition leadership scholarship, requires a 3.85 GPA, and that application is due December 1st. And then the MLK Junior Scholarship is for students who are really wanting to be agents of change, or who have already started that process by being involved in advocacy, diversity, and social justice. This requires a 3.25 GPA, and that is a separate application due February 1st. And you can find these applications on your SLU applicant portal. On your applicant portal is also where you can find your honors and scholars programs as well. This slide has a lot of information on it, so I'll go over some of the highlights, but know that our website has a lot of great information on these, and I don't want to bore you with some programs that you're not necessarily interested in. Some of our biggest honors and scholars programs at SLU are our general honors program and medical scholars, so that's what I'm going to highlight. So our University Honors Program is available to students of any major. Within our honors program, you take 1 honors class a semester, you have priority class registration, and you have some additional research opportunities as well. That does require a 3.8 GPA, and that separate application is due December 1st. Medical Scholars. This is one of our most competitive programs at SLU. It is for students who know they want to be a doctor. Students who are accepted into the program have a guaranteed interview with our medical school during their sophomore year and find out junior year if they have been accepted. And over 90% of our students who are in this program who interview are accepted into our medical school. Now, it's not an accelerated program. It's still 4 years of undergrad and 4 years of medical school, but that guaranteed interview is really great. And in fact, this past year, 100% of our students who interviewed were accepted. If you are thinking about applying to this program, what we're looking for is an outstanding academic record. So all A's and B's on your transcript, especially when you, especially in your math and science courses, but they do a holistic review. We also have several other programs within the health sciences and law and business. So if any of these look interesting to you, I would encourage you just to use the SLU search bar and search that on our website so you can see some more information on that. Just to go over deadlines again, and I know you all can read, so I'm not going to read all of these to you, but some of the highlights. October 1st each year is when the FAFSA becomes available. I highly encourage you to submit this not only to SLU, but to any school that you are applying to be considered for need-based financial aid. November 1st is when we begin releasing admission decisions. December 1st is our big deadline, priority scholarship deadline, and the deadline to apply for many of our programs. We encourage you to submit your FAFSA by February 1st so we can review you for need-based financial aid. We'll release honors and scholars decisions in early March, and May 1st is the national candidate reply date. So that's where you call all of your schools and let them know where you've decided to attend. Last but not least, before we turn it over to our students who have been patiently waiting in the background, I want to talk about how else you can experience and engage with SLU in a virtual or in an in-person setting. So you can customize your experience with you@slu.slu.edu. You can take a virtual tour with UVisit. You can schedule a tour with current students, both virtually and in person. We are offering limited in-person campus tours. If you're hoping to get to campus, whether you are local to St. Louis or perhaps all the way across the state, I really encourage you to plan about 3 to 4 weeks ahead, just due to keeping our visits small and keeping both our campus safe and our prospective students safe. Some of those visits have started to fill up quickly. There's also other ways on our website if you want to go to an additional information session about physical therapy, about medical scholars, about career services. Those are things that we also offer as part of our visits. I want to thank you all so much. We're not done yet. We're going to go to part 2 and have our student panel to give us some of their wisdom about their time at SLU. So I will turn it back over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Jennifer and Rashad. So at this time, as I'm kind of helping organize these questions that you did a great job of submitting into the Q&A, I'm going to have our 2 great students here introduce themselves and just say your name, your grade in school, where you're from, and what major or what's your current major at St. Louis University.
I can go first. Hi, everyone. My name's Juliana. I am from Colorado Springs, Colorado. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a junior studying marketing with a minor in Spanish. And just some things I'm involved with are both of our organizations, Dance Marathon and SLU Relay for Life. I also am a first-year business mentor, as well as a part of our service fraternity on campus, Alpha Phi Omega.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josh Cackley. I'm a junior, also in the business school studying accounting and international business. I'm from just outside Boston, so from the East Coast. You won't find too many here at SLU, but I welcome East Coast love. Some things I'm involved in here at SLU are Camp Kesem, which is a camp put on for kids negatively affected by a parent's cancer. I'm involved in a cappella here on campus, and I'm involved in the MOACAC service learning community.
Awesome, thank you so much. So I'm gonna kind of first obviously take advantage of the students that we have here and just want to learn from you guys, how does someone go about getting involved on campus?
Yeah, I can take this one. So we have this really cool thing at the beginning of each year. It's like a club fair sort of thing. And so we kind of make it an ice cream social. So you get your bowl of ice cream, and then all up and down West Pine, which is the main like strip walkway that runs through campus, all of the clubs and organizations set up tables around there, and then you take your ice cream and they each have toppings, and you can go to the different tables and like get different toppings and like talk to each of the organizations, sign up, sign your email there, and like it's just the best. I love it. And that's a great way to get involved on campus and like meet new people. I always kind of suggest like signing up for as much as you can, like anything that sounds remotely interesting, because that honestly like is the best way to find out what you like, and like going to those first meetings is a great way to narrow down what you like want to continue doing.
Awesome. And kind of to continue with that, since, you know, both of you, I've talked a little bit before that you're both very involved on campus. Maybe from the both of you, how have you been able to balance, you know, your extracurriculars or a job on campus and your typical classwork in like a given year?
Sure. So I'll answer that firstly. So when you sign up, you'll end up signing up for way too many clubs and activities, and you'll put your email down and you'll be on email lists that you're like, oh shoot, I forgot I signed up for that. And then as you get into your classwork schedule, you'll realize Monday, Wednesday, Friday, however your classes are scheduled, you'll realize days where you have a lot of things to do, and days where you'll have a lot of homework, or days where you'll have labs or activities that you might be on a different campus for that you can't be as involved in. And last fall, I was working 15 hours a week, and I was doing 18 credit hours, and then clubs and activities. And for me, that worked really well. For me, it works really well to be very busy, very involved. And for some people, one club and activity throughout a whole week and 12, 15 credit hours, that's their experience at SLU. And I think it's finding whatever your balance is in order for you to best succeed academically, but also socially, and also to get your best out of your experience, get what you want out of your SLU experience.
Yeah, so I definitely like needed to use a planner for sure. Like coming right into SLU, I got a planner first thing, and that's just like always helped me kind of writing out exactly what I have to do, like when my classes are, what time my meetings all are, when I have to work, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's just kind of a matter of trying to like learn how to balance those things. And we do have a lot of resources on campus. We have a student success center, which I've like gone to before. Definitely like my first year and second year, I like was struggling so much trying to organize my time, and they have a lot of like resources to help you kind of figure out how to plan your days and kind of understand like how much time each like assignment takes, or yeah, basically that. But that's definitely a helpful resource, you know, to plan out your days and weeks.
Awesome, thank you so much. And for the students that are here in attendance tonight, if you want to get maybe a little personalized questions answered, if you could, in the question section, put like the interested majors that you're in, or the extracurricular activities that you're interested in, you know, put that in the Q&A, and we'll be able to kind of gear some specific questions towards that. But another great question that I know students really want to know is, how's the food on campus?
I think the food is really, really good. So I'm going to shout out my favorite food on campus because I think it's the best deal on all of campus. For $5.88, you can get a balsamic chicken sandwich and sweet potato fries from the Billiken Club and Grill. And it is absolutely immaculate. I will take that over anything for the price and for the quality of the food. It is absolutely top quality. And I'll let Juliana speak to the other food on campus. I love to eat, but for the deal you get for $5.88, it's unmatched. Absolutely.
Josh, amazing that you know the exact amount. So I like love the food on campus as well. And unfortunately, I live off campus this year, so I can't get it as accessible. But no, still great. And we have like our dining hall, which is in Grand. So that's like our newest residence hall on campus. And there's like a ton of different stuff in there. There's like a little like pizza area. There's like a make your own sandwich or panini area. There's like home cooked meals. There's like Billiken, like a Grilliken it's called. And there's like hot dogs, hamburgers, different stuff, fruits, vegetables, all that, salad bar, which is really good. So it's like the menu changes all the time, so you never get bored. Also, shout out to the business school. We have a really good, it's my favorite place to eat on campus. It's called the Amarin Cafe. Best place, best sandwiches. And then we also have another restaurant on our South Campus, which is our medical campus, which is also really good. Our nutrition and dietetics students make the food there. So obviously you're getting some really fresh stuff. And then, yeah, we also have Fuse Dining Hall, which is, there's like a Subway, a Qdoba, this new place called Garbanzo, which is like a Mediterranean sort of thing. And then there's like a grab and go little thing if you'd like that. Oh, and Jamba Juice. So yeah, I could keep going. We have a ton of different options as well, but definitely food on campus is like the best I've seen out of the many, many colleges I've visited.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh and Juliana. I'm a bit biased towards the Fresh Gatherings Cafe, which is partially run by our nutrition and dietetics program. So it's really cool to kind of see the cool menu options and healthy menu options that cafe comes up with. We have a great question in the chat asking about our engineering programs and music performance, and if they're available at SLU. I'll take this question since I am our liaison with our Parks College of Engineering Aviation Technology. Yes, we do indeed have engineering programs at St. Louis University. We cover aerospace, mechanical, civil, computer, electrical, and biomedical engineering. Also, the Parks College is where we have our flight science and aviation management program, as well as our Bachelor of Science in Physics. And so all of our engineering programs have a very hands-on learning, like lab spaces. We have our Space Systems Research Lab, which is an interdisciplinary lab that works with NASA and other universities across the country to launch CUBE satellites into outer space and do research. I believe they launched a satellite just last year. And so it's definitely a very exciting time to have an awesome lab. There's like a racing car team that builds and competes with a race car every year. So it's definitely really cool opportunities there. We do have a musical performance degree program, and it's housed in our College of Arts and Sciences. However, you do not need to be a music major to get involved with a lot of the different vocal groups on campus. There are some benefits to be for a scholarship potentially with our fine arts program if you are a fine arts major. But most of the vocal groups on campus, especially the student-led and organized like a cappella groups and things like that, those are they don't require you to be a music major. And I bring that up because I'll be honest, engineering is a very rigorous degree program. And it'll be a challenge to like double major in engineering and music performance. It just the amount of free time that you would have. And so oftentimes students who are interested in a wide range of things, and we love having students with a wide range of interests, it's best to get involved with a club organization that pairs well with that major. Now, some other programs, they have a much more connectedness where, hey, if you wanted to double major in like political science and international studies, that's very easy and very common on our campus. But it's just when you have some of the very different programs interest for that. So that's really cool about that. So speaking of your degree programs, I know Josh, you're involved with international business, and can you touch on that for a little bit and the experience that you have with the international side of things with SLU?
Sure. So just to add on to what Mark just said, I'm in an a cappella group on campus, and we have people that are pre-med. I'm in the business school. Biomedical engineering. I think we have 3 or 4 different engineers, nursing. So it might not, as he said, it might not be possible, but there's lots of ways outside of your specific major to get involved with various groups, whether it be a theater group, whether it be a specific musical performance group. In regards to the question Mark just asked, so I think I was abroad actually last spring. We unfortunately all got called back, but I was abroad in Lyon, France. And one of the cool opportunities is a lot of students do choose to go to the full-fledged campus in Madrid. So a lot of my friends were in Madrid, but I got to go to France, and using my degree and my background, got to take lots of classes in French with French students at this university, which was very challenging and intimidating at first, but it was something that I think SLU had prepared me well for in terms of the advisors you get. For all these experiences, you will get an advisor for your major, you'll get advisor. I was pre-law at one point, and I have a pre-law advisor, and I have, I think, 4 or 5 different advisors, and they will help you make sure that you are prepared for whatever experience you want. So they helped make sure that I was prepared for the classes I was going to take, that I was taking classes that would come back and get credit for. And I think having SLU has a very international dimension because it has the campus in Madrid. And it has a lot of professors and advisors that know that students have this larger vision than academia, than just what their major is. And whether you are a nursing student and want to study abroad, or whether you are an engineering student and want to study abroad, it might be difficult, and you might have much less choices, or much less choice overall as to where you can study and what courses you can take. But they'll be able to work with you and work with your interests as to how to make your SLU experience, your abroad experience, whatever it may be, the best it can be.
Awesome, thank you. And Juliana, I know you mentioned already that you were involved with service on campus. Can you touch about like how a student, if a student wants to get involved with service on campus, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, great. So we also do have a service fair at the beginning of the year as well. It's not an ice cream social, but it's still really fun. You still get free stuff. But a great way, like throughout the year, is to go to our service office that's in our campus ministry building on the 1st floor. And basically, you can go in there and like talk to them, tell them kind of maybe what sort of stuff you're interested in, what service you might be interested in, and they can give you like a huge list of different service sites that would kind of fit your interests, or maybe like would fit your major possibly too. So that's a great way to get involved with service. And then, yeah, the reason I got involved with my service fraternity was through that club fair actually, because they like set up a table. And so, yeah, again, a great way to get involved is just by signing up for everything you can and then figuring it out from there.
Awesome. Obviously, another thing that a lot of students are always very concerned about outside of food is obviously living on campus. Now at SLU, we do have a on-campus requirement to live on campus for your first 2 years of college outside of 25 miles. So if you live within 25 miles of SLU's campus, you are able to commute to SLU from home. If we don't want students to get their own apartments freshman year. That's just a bad idea. And apartments don't want to do that either. But if you live within 25 miles of campus with your family, you do have the option to commute to SLU. But if you live outside 25 miles, you do need to remain on campus for your first 2 years of college. So if Josh or Juliana, if you can touch on maybe where you've lived on campus and some of the experiences that you've had in living those residence halls.
Yeah, I can go first. So my first year, I lived in Griesdeck Hall, which is our all first year student residence hall, which I am personally biased. I feel like it's the best one. I guess everybody is, depending on where they lived. But I thought the community was so great in there. I lived on the 16th floor, which is the top floor. So definitely a good time. Sometimes the elevators would break, so we had to walk up and down the stairs, which was so fun and a great workout. But yeah, I basically I did a random roommate because I know a lot of people are always stressed about that. So I did a random one when I was filling out my housing contract. But we also have a ton of different ways. We have this thing called Room Sync where it's kind of like a roommate dating app sort of thing. You fill out a profile. You kind of talk about like when you go to bed, when you wake up, what you like to do, stuff like that. And then it just matches you with people that are similar to you. And then you can talk to them and become roommates with them if you'd like. We also have a Facebook page for our admitted students, which is, I know a lot of my friends did that and found their roommates through that. And that was like a really easy way, and they're still friends with their roommates too. And then my second year, I lived in Fuse Hall, which is mostly a first year student residence hall. And then it does have some sophomores, obviously, but I only lived there one semester, but it was a great experience. That was also, yeah, Griesdeck and that one, they're both communal style living. So that means that it's the communal style bathrooms and showers. And then we had like a communal kitchen and kind of like study room. And a lot of people I know are like, oh, community bathrooms, like no. But they honestly were totally fine. And, like you don't have to pay for toilet paper, which is great. But yeah, I would definitely recommend doing the community style. I think it's a great way to meet people your first year.
Awesome, thank you. And another great way to meet others during your particularly your freshman year, is possibly getting involved with one of our learning communities on campus. We offer several different learning communities. They're based on either your degree program or your a special interest. If Josh or Kelly, if you want to touch a little bit more about the learning communities on campus, that'd be great.
Sure. So I'm involved in the MOACAC learning community. I actually transferred in. So we weekly go out into the greater St. Louis community and do a variety of service. So some things I've done is a lot of tutoring with young students at St. Louis Public Schools. And then once a week, we come back as a greater group and discuss it. So it's the MOACAC learning community, I would say, is for people who are very involved and want to continue doing service, which was something that I did in high school. And I found a great community. And in the MOACAC learning community, one of the coolest things is that some of my best friends are aerospace engineers, occupational therapy majors, and a wide variety. But in some of them, such as the life science or health sciences communities, you will get students where you will take specific courses, whether it be your Gen Chem class or Gen Bio class, and they will be able to help you along the way through those programs, through those classes, where if it's like a Wednesday night and you are struggling on a problem and it's due at midnight, and you just go down the hall and knock on someone's door and ask for help. And it's really, really beneficial. And there is a program for the business school, a program for engineers, and it is a great way to meet people who are somewhat like-minded in terms of your major, but also meet people who might become some of your closest friends because you will be living on a floor in proximity with each other, which is a really cool way to not only succeed your first year academically, but also to get a solid group of friends to call your home or call your people here at SLU.
Awesome, thank you. If Rashad, I have a great question for you, is that could you ask us about the college application? So can you expand a little bit on what we look for in a college application essay when a student is applying to SLU?
Yeah, I know that, a college essay is always like a student's favorite or least favorite thing. I think for us as admission counselors, that's just a way for us to really get to know you better, understand your experiences and how you believe those experiences would transform you here at SLU. So I know there's a lot of colleges you can pick from. I know that's a lot of essays you have to write potentially, but I always say that that's usually the greatest key, I think, for us to get to know you. I mean, we also offer admission interviews, but for example, if you're kind of later in the cycle and you're just trying to find a way to really put yourself out there, your college essay is really a strong point in my eyes, because it's a way for you to be as authentic as possible without us just looking at your GPA or potential test scores or anything like that. Your essay is just a way for you to explain your story. So that's why it's important to me. I always just say be authentic, start early as possible. Definitely proofread your writing. If not once, then twice, to make sure you're reading it in a way that, it's really showing your true self. That's what stands out to me. Jennifer, you want to expand on that, if possible?
Actually, since we've only got a couple of minutes left and a question did come through the chat, I'm going to talk about transferring dual credit to SLU and, gen ed credits that you have to take. Those came through, and I think it's great to address to the broader community. In terms of transferring in dual credit, whether that be AP, IB, or from a local community college that you can, what is going to be a great resource for you is a website called Transferology. You can put in the credits that you've taken at OTC, for instance, since that was what was asked, and you can see how those credits may transfer to SLU. Now, if no one's ever transferred that class before, it may come up with no results. That doesn't mean it won't transfer. It just means that it has to go through a process at SLU to see how it will transfer. Word to the wise, especially for like engineering or pre-med, if you're taking a biology or a chemistry class in high school as dual credit, you're probably going to take it again in college. Some of those core competency classes we want you to take at the college level. In terms of gen ed requirements, that's a great question. So as a Jesuit university, we want you to be well-rounded. So no matter what your major is, you are still going to be taking some of those liberal arts core classes, as both of our business majors can probably attest to. So you're still going to take philosophy, theology, history, English, maybe a foreign language, maybe not. It depends from major to major. And we're in the process of revising our core right now, so that could change. And it's not because we want to bore you with things you're not interested in, but as someone who is Jesuit educated, I found a lot of interest in those classes that weren't necessarily related to my major. And so it's really an opportunity for you to kind of expand and grow and challenge yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. We only have a few more minutes left before the end of this presentation. So guys, thank you so much for coming out again today. So what I would like to end with is with our two students that we have here. It's probably been a little bit since you've gone through the application process, but I always like to hear what brought you guys to SLU.
What brought me to SLU? So I have grandparents in the St. Louis area, and personally, I would say don't follow what I did, because I drove my parents wild. I committed to SLU on May 1st at 10:40 something p.m. And it was quite the situation. But what brought me to SLU was when I came here and I found lots of different majors. I came in undecided and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I came here and found lots of students who were not only driven and passionate about their careers, about their future, but it was not to a competitive mindset where I am going to succeed and I'm going to push other people down. I think that was something that I was really surprised. I came from a high school where that was somewhat of the mindset, that it wasn't as much of a collaborative mindset. Not to say that St. Louis University students aren't driven to their career or driven to their future, driven to be successful, because I would say they very much are. But they are also driven to help others along the way, driven to make sure to not just do school, to make sure to do other things, to make sure to be involved, to make sure to better themselves academically, physically, socially, mentally, emotionally. And I found a great community that has really allowed me to grow. And I don't want to take too much of Juliana's time. So.
Yeah, mine's honestly pretty similar to Josh. My sister went to SLU too, and I loved that Jesuit ideal of like educating the whole person and men and women for and with others. And yeah, that kind of like seeing my sister and her friends graduate, and like seeing the people that they became, and like bringing those things that they learned in college and actually utilizing them in their real life and like in their careers. I just thought that was like an awesome thing, and definitely SLU, gave me the best opportunity to become that person.
Juliana, Josh, thank you so much for helping us out today. As well as Jennifer and Rashad, thank you for joining us today as well. For students across Missouri, we have a lot of different counselors for you to find out who's your mission counselor. So if you go to our website, there's a Find Your Counselor section. You can put in your high school, and it will show your mission counselor for you. So please take advantage of that. We have great counselors across the state of Missouri here to help you out.
With that, I'm going to say thank you to all of our presenters today from St. Louis University. Students, we want to thank you for joining us. When you close this session, you're going to get a 4-question survey. It's super quick. We'd appreciate all of the feedback. And again, a reminder that you can sign up for more sessions or view today's recording at moacac.org. With that, thank you again, Jennifer and Mark and Rashad and Josh and Juliana. Have a great night, y'all.